Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, guess who's back for day 2 of their 15 minutes of fame? That's right, you guessed it, Diddy and Cassie's favorite freak-off worker, better known as the Punisher, or better yet, what I like to call him, the Quitter. For those of you who may have missed yesterday's episode, the Punisher is now famous for not being able to perform for Diddy and Cassie. Instead of hiding his head in the sand, the Punisher is now doing interviews with none other than the biggest entertainment blog, TMZ. If I were the Punisher, I would be spending every waking minute trying to figure out how to cure my inadequacies. I honestly just feel bad for this guy. I wish I could give him some advice, but I honestly have no idea what to do. Hey Siri, how do you cure ED?
I found this on the web.
Oh wait, that's gonna be on my search history now. Delete. Yo, Siri, forget I asked that. That was a friend of mine. Siri, this is not Trent Out Loud. Confirm, I did not just search ED.
I'm not sure what you're trying to edit.
Oh, delete. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, I don't care what time zone you're in. Y'all know what day it is. It's Friday, and I got a great show set up for y'all. We made it, y'all. We're at the mountaintop. We're at the end of the week, and it's a long weekend, but I'll tell you all those details at the end of the show. All right, I have a great show set up for you guys today. I have 3 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about the new evidence in the Tory Lanez case. It is actually Ring video camera footage. We'll tell you everything you need to know. Also, Diddy's ex-assistant takes the stand, and Kid Cudi takes the stand, and trust me, it was worth the wait. In quick Diddy news, we're going to talk about the Punisher and him talking about he did not actually see Diddy do any crimes, and he feels like his testimony actually helped the defense. In regular quick news, we're going to talk about the 2 women that were arrested for helping multiple New Orleans jail escapees, and also Glorilla claims that she got a nose job. As always, we're going to close out this show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, your devices up. About to start this show. Let's go. Our first lead story. Rep Anna Luna says Tory Lanez did not pow Megan Thee Stallion. She says there is Ring camera video evidence. All right, we're going to get to all things Diddy in a minute. I had to kick off this show with this news about Tory Lanez. Now, all week, I've been laying breadcrumbs for you guys, letting you know that things are heating up with Tory Lanez, that he literally might get out of jail within the next couple of days. And I also told you yesterday that they have 48 more hours. They said 36 hours they will release the evidence. Now today, with 24 hours left, they're giving us a hint that they actually have video evidence that Tory was not the one that pow-powed Megan. I have a video that will explain a little bit more. We'll jump into this, but this is huge news. They're going to the governor with this. They're going to the appellate court. Tory Lanez might get out of jail within the next 7 days. That is the rumor that is going on. I'm going to break it all down for you guys. Crazy work. Take a listen to Anna.
Why did you take such an interest in this case?
So when I saw the evidence that was brought forward, we're talking about no forensics DNA on the magazine of the pistol, a .01 DNA match, which effectively means that he could not have been the shooter, to include there being Ring footage. All of this does indeed show and prove that Mr. Lanez, unfortunately, is being incarcerated and he's an innocent man.
Have you seen it, and is it going to be released?
We will be presenting that and posting that publicly for everyone to see in the coming days.
All right, that was a 5-minute long video. She went through and was talking about all the inconsistencies of the evidence at trial and the things they have found after the trial. And on top of all of that, what I told you guys at the beginning of this week, Kelsey's driver is now testifying that she said during the trial in the car that she was the one that powed Meg. And now they're saying they have video evidence from a Ring camera. Crazy. In the interview, Harvey from TMZ asked her and said, hey, I'm not saying that this Ring camera doesn't exist. However, what do you guys plan to do in the next 24 hours? Are you going to give it to media outlets? Of course, because he wants it. Or are you going to go right to the courts with this? And he suggested that she go to the media, or the team goes to the media with it, so that there can be more public pressure. And once politicians get more pressure on them, then Governor Newsom from California is going to feel more compelled to give Tory Lanez a pardon and get him out of jail quickly. I don't know what their plans are. I don't know why they're even having this like a countdown. It's like we're waiting to Mission Impossible or something, which is coming out this weekend. They should pay me for that. But anyways, yes, 38 hours, 48 hours, 24 hours. Why they're not just putting this out, I don't know. I don't have the answer. Nobody knows. Not even TMZ knows. We shall see. Maybe by the time this even comes out, it may have been out. I don't know. Maybe we'll do a special edition and get it to you guys. But this is big, big news. Want to give you guys another interview from, I think she was in the hallways walking to somewhere in court. But before that, going to give you a little bit more context. Rep. Anna Luna has continued to show her support for Tory Lanez. In a brief interview with News Nation, Luna shared that she's been in communication with Lanez and his legal team, who have informed her of the new evidence they plan to submit to the courts. Just to be clear, this new evidence is not necessarily the Ring camera. She's talking about some other things, okay? While Luna did not clearly state whether she has seen the evidence herself, sorry, don't mean to interrupt, but these are two conflicting things. This article maybe was late. She just did admit to TMZ, Harvey from TMZ, that she has not seen it. Just want to make that clear for you guys. She mentioned that it allegedly includes previously unseen Ring camera footage from the night of the powing. Her stance is that Tory Lanez should never have been convicted based on the evidence presented during the trial. One point of confusion for both Luna and many on social media has been the DNA evidence. To clarify, despite claims that Tory Lanez was excluded from the DNA results, the reality is more complicated than that. An expert testified that Lanez's DNA could not be definitively excluded based on the available evidence, not that he was excluded outright. Still puts up to question, it still states the fact that his DNA was not there, but I understand that there's two sides to that coin. Luna also brought up a topic of the fragments from the things that are in the pow, the things that the pow pushes out. It's worth noting that during the trial, a doctor confirmed that Megan Thee Stallion had metallic foreign bodies in her foot wound when she was treated, which is consistent to being powed. Representative Luna would like Governor Gavin Newsom to ultimately pardon Tory Lanez. Here is another interview from Representative Luna. Take a listen.
I was made aware of some ring footage, so video footage, and so that will likely be released in the next, whenever they decide to release it, next couple days.
So, and have you spoken with Governor Newsom or anyone else about it?
I actually have a call into his office, and so we're working on scheduling a time.
Now, let's move on to a little bit of support from the music industry. Two things, Glorilla and Sza. Now, Megan Thee Stallion made a comment 2 days ago, I think it was yesterday. We read that out to you. And Megan Thee Stallion is pissed. I mean, she cannot believe that this is happening once again. She can't believe that she has to go through this. She can't believe that every time she's trying to get rest and move on from this incident, she gets badgered by people, and everything is just brought back up and she has to relive this. She's upset. Now, I can understand what Megan is going through, but there's somebody in jail who's fighting for his life to get out of jail. So, you know what I mean? Like, and he's famous and he has fans, and those fans believe that he is innocent. Now he has people in the government that thinks he's innocent. So while I understand how Meg must be feeling, and I feel really bad for her because it definitely is traumatic, you have to understand that The only reason why you have some people in the government, like Representative Luna and some other people, are interested or even getting involved in this case is because of the public outcry and the public support. So indirectly, that falls back on Megan because she was the one who testified that it was him. And a lot of people don't think it was him, right? Having said that, Megan Thee Stallion recently unfollows Glorilla after she shared an Instagram post including a song by Tory Lanez. So here is the post, and it says, "Bae, I'm not crazy, just haven't been loved like this." And you'll see up in the top corner, the song that was playing from that post is Tory Lanez YDLR. Now, some of you out there might be like, okay, well, Megan unfollowing her, that really doesn't mean anything. In 2025, that means everything. Okay, I mean, like, this is not high school. Like this, who you follow on Instagram sets a precedent. It lets everybody know what's going on. People have been doing that for years. Okay, for my people who are not on social media, that is a clear sign that you're mad at somebody and you're no longer messing with that person. Okay. Now, Glorilla replied and said, I don't know this internet-ish. I don't do mess. It was an innocent repost. Y'all BSing. Now, y'all know I love Glorilla, but I think she is wrong in this circumstance. Two things. You got to know what you're reposting. You got to know what you're doing out there. That's one. I mean, Glo is in industry. She knows what's up. For those of you who don't know, Megan took Glo on tour. It was last year. And I'm not saying that she made Glo in any sense, but like Glo is Glo now, but a year ago or a year and a half ago or a year ago, she wasn't the Glo that she is now. Okay. She didn't have all the hits. So Meg taking her out is really, giving her an opportunity to share her fan base with her. That's what happens when you allow an up and coming artist to open for you. Somebody does that for you, man, you got to be very careful what you're reposting out here. And I think that is wrong of her to do. Now, let's give Glorilla the benefit of the doubt, and let's say it was reposted by accident. You don't come on the internet and do something like that. You call Megan and you're like, Meg, girl, so sorry. I was so wrong. You take it down. I wouldn't even say anything to the public. I would call Megan first and be like, girl, I'm so sorry. That was an accident. Trust me, I would never do that to you. I'm riding for you, whatever, blah, 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 da, 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 da. And if she was still mad and didn't believe me, I would literally take a couple of days off Instagram. Like I wouldn't post, just to show my friend who was beyond just a friend or a colleague, somebody who really put themselves out for me and gave me a chance. You know what I mean? So I just really a little bit shocked by Glo because I really, really like Glo and she's really a down-to-earth person. So I'm a little surprised by that. On the flip side, in the music industry, another one of my homies who I really love, SZA, says SZA supports Megan Thee Stallion following online badgering, let's just call it, after Tory Lanez's legal team holds a press conference. Now, SZA wrote, "The density. I'm actually so shocked at the amount of people fully comfortable badgering a woman that's proven to be a victim of somebody putting hands on them, or more than somebody putting hands on them, pow-powing them. Like out loud where other people can see. Laugh out loud, you fitting to be out loud." So, that's SZA coming to her defense, and I really like that. I would love to have seen more people come to Megan's defense. Whether you agree with her or not, like, obviously you could tell that Megan is going through something. And I know that people are divided on this and they don't feel like she should have testified, but something happened. We don't know what. We don't know if it was Kelsey. We don't know if it was glass. We don't know whatever. Some pow-pow happened in her direction. I don't know if it was glass or fragments or what, She obviously went through something, okay? And she was the receiver of something on the other end. Let's at least that, okay? We could tell that from the police video and the statements and everything. So I feel bad for Megan, but I also do not want Tory to be in jail if he's innocent and he didn't do this. So I will definitely follow up on this story. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the next big thing after Diddy. I'll follow up and let you guys know. But until then, let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. Our second lead story. All right, let's get to some Diddy stuff. Diddy's ex-employee, George Kaplan, says, I set up baby oil, lube, candles in hotel rooms, then cleaned up after. All right, I didn't tell you about him yesterday. He was the last witness for the prosecution, and today he's finishing up. So after this, I'll just add in the rest of the stuff he put in today if it's really interesting. But to be honest, why I didn't throw it in yesterday, it's that we've heard the same thing from his other ex-assistant. I feel like the prosecution is just laying these things on. We do hear that the jury is starting to feel like it's a little bit redundant when these ex-employees come on. We don't know what charges this is really to relate to. I have something actually coming up in quick news where the Punisher was like, I don't even understand my testimony. It didn't even help the prosecution. It actually helped the defense. So I'm still going to read it through for you guys. I might skip over some things because it's stuff that we've heard already. Diddy's former assistant, George Kaplan, says part of his work as an executive assistant at Combs Enterprises called for him to set up hotel rooms for his boss, complete with some staples for freak-offs like lube, baby oil, and candles. Kaplan testified Wednesday in Diddy's federal criminal trial in New York City, telling the jurors he booked rooms for Diddy at hotel rooms in New York, Miami, and Los Angeles, including the Intercontinental Hotel, where Diddy was later seen on video putting hands on Cassie in March 2016, although Kaplan said he only worked for Diddy from 2013 to 15. Okay, I wanted to put that in there because it could just be a little lapse in memory, but prosecution's got to prepare these people. Like, how long did he work for Diddy? 2013 and 15. Were you the one who said the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016? Yes, I was. That doesn't look good to a jury. But anyways, not a big deal. He also told jurors he would book rooms for Diddy using aliases Frank Black, which he says was derived from one of Notorious B.I.G.'s nicknames, Frank White. Kaplan testified he would pack Diddy's bag beforehand and then unpack it inside the room, setting up candles, Astro Guide, lubricant, and Johnson's baby oil. When Diddy was done with the rooms, Kaplan said that he would clean up, collecting the bottles of baby oil and Gatorade. He also mentioned he once saw brown crystallized powder on the bathroom sink. Kaplan says he cleaned the rooms instead of housekeepers as a way to protect Diddy's public image, telling jurors there was a concern about embarrassing photos coming out. He testified Diddy would contact him during the hotel stays and send him out for food, clothing, and sometimes DRUG, including et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's just more DRUGs, okay? He said Diddy gave him cash and a number to call, and he would come back with the DRUG to give to Diddy. Kaplan said he logged 80 to 100 hours a week for a starting salary of $125,000. He said Diddy would threaten his job at times and told him he wanted to be surrounded by the best. Court adjourned for the day. When prosecutors were questioning Kaplan, he'll be back on the stand first thing Thursday morning when court resumes. I told you all there wasn't really anything there that we haven't heard before. Now, as I started out with this saying that, it's something that this is things that we've heard already just literally 2 days ago. It still isn't great things to hear. It still plays a little bit to Rico, kind of, in the sense that he is actually hired for Sean Combs Enterprise, which was a holding company for Bad Boys and his other ventures. And he was there as a personal assistant. And technically speaking, you shouldn't be having somebody who's your personal assistant that's supposed to be doing company stuff, and they're spending their hours doing that kind of stuff, right? Like, yes, you could be a personal assistant, like get me coffee, pack my bags, traveling, because if, as Diddy being the CEO or the chairman of Sean John Holding, yes, he has to, or no, I mean, not Sean John, whatever it is, the holding company, okay? Sean Inc. or Sean Combs Enterprises, that's the name of it. So he has to move around, he has to be in hotels, and that's all fine. But when it's time to go outside and get me some DRUG, that could be some implications of RICO, but it's really far-fetched. It's just, he's having him doing some illegal activity, which is wrong, right? That's more like a work issue and not necessarily RICO. But when you add everything all together that we've heard about Diddy from the prosecution, it's just adding another brick, what they're saying, right? We're trying to build a brick wall, and this is a brick. I feel like this testimony is literally like, I don't know, like a chip. You know what I mean? Like a quarter of a brick. But hey, I got to do my job and tell you guys everything that's going on. And I don't want to miss one testimony just so that you guys have the whole picture. I know there's a lot of you that depend on me to let you know everything that's going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So let me know what you guys think about this. Diddy's assistant in the comment section below. All right, just want to jump back in here for 2 seconds. Like I said, that was Diddy's ex-assistant's ending of Wednesday's testimony. And I told you if he said anything that was pertinent or important on Thursday, I was going to let you guys know. And there is something quick I just want to fill you in on. Diddy's ex-assistant gets tired of being his fixer, cleaning up after bad situations. All right, here is what I want to highlight. Diddy's ex-assistant describes a particular incident on a private jet flight to Las Vegas. When an episode between the couple occurred, he testified he heard glass breaking. He said Cassie stayed in the back of the plane. Diddy came up and asked him to get cream to conceal bruises on her face. Diddy's ex-assistant said he later paid for those supplies using corporate credit cards. That is what the prosecution wants us to know. Diddy is paying for things that are not has nothing to do with Bad Boy Entertainment or Sean John or Ciroc or anything, and he's using corporate money to pay for crimes, covering up crimes, whether it be as small as beauty supplies that he's, putting hands on Cassie. That is not legal. That's not what you're supposed to use company money for. You're not supposed to be able to deduct makeup after you put your hands on your girls. That is, or your girl, well, in Diddy's case, girls, but that is what will go towards racketeering. Also, Diddy's ex-assistant said he also witnessed Diddy throwing green apples, very hard at Gina at the Star Island Miami mansion. Now, Gina is allegedly victim 3 that the prosecution says is not going to show up. We've talked about her a couple of times before. We don't know if she's going to come, but we do know that she's had a sit-down interview with Tasha K. The streets are saying that she maybe got paid off. She doesn't want to come anymore. Who knows? Maybe. Anyways, I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to get no lawsuits. Everything was alleged, everything that I just said, okay? Shout out to Gina. Anyways, just want to throw that in there, that Gina's name has been thrown into the case. And the last thing I wanted to highlight is Diddy's ex-assistant said he left the company because he didn't think he should be involved in covering things up. That is a huge sentence. He is saying, or a huge paragraph, what do you want to say? He is saying one of Diddy's employees who was hired for Sean Combs Enterprises. This is an employee saying, yeah, I had to quit my own job, my 9 to 5, because I wasn't really working for Sean John Enterprises. I was actually covering up the crimes that my boss was committing. That's RICO, ladies and gentlemen. Fixing these type of things, in addition to his father's prostate cancer, Diddy's ex-assistant worked for Diddy from 2013 to 2015. He said he was grateful to have worked the job and he had respect for Diddy, but he had to go. That is huge. So I did start off by saying, hey, his testimony on Wednesday was a little bit redundant. We already heard this from the other ex-assistant, but what he said Thursday morning was very important, very pertinent to the case. And I'm sure that's going to stick in the jury's mind of, hey, he didn't stick around for the partying, the Diddy bopping or whatever. He left because it got too much. And that's what the prosecution is trying to show, right? Diddy started out with Cassie. Everything was consensual. Everything was fine and dandy. But as the years progressed, Diddy got worse and worse and worse. He started using more DRUG. He started putting hands on Cassie. And it went from fun celebrity lifestyle with some whatever, swinger lifestyle that his defense are saying. But the prosecution is trying to show that that actually took a turn where nobody was happy, including Cassie. And when the defense gets to that point, that is when the SEX trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion comes into play. And we heard from Don Hughes, the expert psychologist, that a woman who is in a situation where she's getting hands put on her, it's not as easy to walk away. We heard about trauma bonding. I'm actually going to play a clip from an interview that I did with Dr. Alfie that will explain more about trauma bonding. You'll get that in comments of the day. And there's actually a comment with somebody speaking about her experience. So we'll know more about that. But you see that the workers, the assistants leaving, Cassie wanting to leave, but because of trauma bonding and experience, it was hard for her. Really, really good testimony. That's why I had to throw this in here, okay? Let's go over to Kid Cudi, which actually wasn't as great. Everybody thought this was going to be the bombshell witness that was going to, throw Diddy under the bus. It's not that it wasn't good. It's just that I think parts of it kind of ended up helping the defense. Let's go over to Kid Cudi. Our third lead story. All right, I'm going to break the Kid Cudi testimony up in 3 parts. The first one is testifying that Diddy broke into his home. Then I'm going to tell you guys about the infamous car going boom, which we have heard about since the beginning of all of this. Cassie put that in her civil suit, and I don't know how many people have heard about it, but in the industry, this has been something that has been a folktale for years that nobody knew if it was true. So that's why this was so juicy. And then we're going to end it off, which I think was the crushing blow, which is the defense, what they were able to get out of Kid Cudi, saying that Kid Cudi feels like Cassie played him and Diddy. Okay, so that is going to be the process. So first of all, Diddy broke into my house. He messed with my dog. Kid Cudi says Diddy broke into his Los Angeles home after finding out he was dating Cassie, and he says Diddy messed around with his dog. The rapper took to the stand on Tuesday in Diddy's federal criminal trial in New York City and told the jury about some of the drama that had unfolded between him, Diddy, and Cassie back in 2011 when she was on break from Diddy and they started dating. Kid Cudi testified there was a break-in in his home in December 2011 after Cassie called him earlier in the morning and told him Diddy found out about them. He says cops were called too. Kid Cudi says Cassie was stressed, worried, nervous, and scared when she called him around 5:36 a.m. to tell him Diddy knew that they were seeing each other, and she said she told him she'd given his address to Diddy and didn't know what Diddy would do. Kid Cudi says Cassie told him to come and pick her up, and they went to the Sunset Marquis Hotel in West Hollywood. Cudi says while he was with Cassie, they got a call from Diddy's employee, Capricorn Clark, I think that's how you pronounce her name, who told them Diddy was inside Kid Cudi's house. Cudi said Clark told them she was waiting in a car outside the house while Diddy was inside Kid Cudi's house. Kid Cudi testified he called Diddy and planned to confront Diddy at his house, telling Diddy, "You mother effer, you're in my house." He says Diddy calmly told him, "What's up? I just want to talk to you." Cudi says he told Diddy he was on his way home, but when he got there, no one was there. Though he says he soon discovered her security cameras were not working and that they had been moved without his knowledge. When Kid Cudi went inside, he testified some gifts he received, including one from Chanel, had been opened, and his dog, who usually roamed the house freely, was locked up in the bathroom. He also said the dog became jittery and on edge in the wake of the break-in. Cudi says he called Diddy again and wanted to go looking for him to fight him, but he says he ultimately decided to call the cops. Cudi said he spent Christmas 2011 with Cassie and her family in Connecticut, and that Diddy called him a few times. Cudi said he told Diddy, "You broke into my house and you messed with my dog. I don't want to talk to you." Okay, so that is the alleged break-in. Now, let's move on to the car, which was what everybody wants to know, okay? Kid Cudi, Porsche torched by Molotov cocktail, Diddy super villain vibes. Kid Cudi is testifying about his infamous car going boom, and he says he knew Diddy had something to do with it, even though Diddy denied it to his face during a meeting where Diddy came off like a Marvel super villain. That's exactly what Kid Cudi said. I think it was the prosecution asked him, he's like, "What did Diddy look like?" He said he looked like a Marvel superhuman, a super villain. That was hilarious. Anyways, the rapper testified Thursday in Diddy's criminal case, telling the jury his Porsche went up in flames outside of his house in January 2012, shortly after he broke things off with Cassie. Cudi says he wasn't at home when he got a call from his dog's babysitter informing him his car was on fire. He says he rushed home and found his car damaged. Photos were shown in court, and Kid Cudi said the roof of his Porsche was cut open and that there was a Molotov cocktail was inserted. He testified he called the cops and reported the incident. Kid Cudi told jurors he reached out to Diddy a few days after the incident because he knew he had something to do with it. Kid Cudi said he told Diddy they needed to meet up and talk. He said Diddy wanted to talk to him and things were getting out of hand, so he decided to meet. Cudi said he went to see Diddy at Soho House in West Hollywood with Diddy's security guard, D-Rock, escorting him into the room where Diddy was standing there like a Marvel supervillain. Kid Cudi says they chopped it up about Cassie, and Diddy told him he thought they were homies and that Cassie was his girl. Cudi said he told Diddy he thought they had broken up. Cudi told the jurors Diddy was so calm during the meeting it was weird, and that Cassie came in the room too and told him she and Cudi had fallen in love. Cudi testified he confronted Diddy about the car incident, asking him, "What about my car?" He says Diddy responded, "I don't know what you're talking about." Cudi told jurors he didn't see Diddy again until a few years later, also at the Soho House when Diddy apologized for all the BS. Okay, so that is the car situation, right? Those are all the details. Again, no 100% proof, no pictures, no security footage. We don't know. There's speculation that it was Clark that maybe did it and Diddy put her up. Don't forget, she's actually going to take the stand too, so we'll have a little bit more information. As we know now, we cannot rush to judge the prosecution. Oh, what is this person? What are they doing here? We really have to give them time to build up this brick wall, right? As we heard, it's brick by brick by brick. Some bricks are more important than others, but it will all build a wall soon. Or another analogy that I've been hearing about from one of my lawyers is think about it like a puzzle piece, and you know, it's all pieces to the puzzle. Some pieces don't have anything to do with it. Some are like essential, and you can't see the puzzle until those pieces are there. Okay. Now let's talk about the defense. Brian Steele, Young Thug's lawyer, that came onto this trial, or Diddy's defense team, late. He did an amazing job with an amazing witness in Kid Cudi, and I don't know if he crossed him up or Cudi was happy to get this off of his chest. I don't know how I feel about this, but you got to give credit to Brian Steele, all right? Kid Cudi says Cassie played me. Kid Cudi says Cassie played him like a fiddle during their 2011 fling. The Pursuit of Happiness rapper testified Thursday in Diddy's federal criminal trial in NYC, and he talked a lot about his brief relationship with Cassie. Cudi admitted he felt like he was played by Cassie when she told him things were over with Diddy, only for her to go back to Diddy after they broke up. Diddy's defense attorney, Brian Steele, asked Cudi, "She played you?" Cudi said, "Yes." Steele followed up, "You had no clue that Cassie was back with Diddy?" Cudi responded, "No clue." Kid Cudi told jurors he dated Cassie for less than a month and they broke up because of safety concerns and drama. He testified Diddy broke into his home upon finding out he was seeing Cassie. He also knew that Sean Combs was not the nicest guy in the world. Steele asked Kid Cudi if Cassie was living two different lives, and Cudi said yes. That is damaging, but hold on. And Steele asked if both Cudi and Diddy got played by Cassie, and Cudi responded, "True." That is not good. That is not good. Cudi even said he was in love with Cassie. Now, wow. You're going to hear a lot of stuff on the internet on both sides. That's what's going on with this case. And I'm trying to just give you guys the facts and leave it up for you to decide. You could look at it one way, that Brian Steele was just an amazing lawyer. He didn't even realize what was going on. Or you could look at it like Kid Cudi wanted to get this off his chest and knew that the prosecution wasn't, Diddy's defense team wasn't going to bring him up. And when the prosecution asked him, he said, "Sure, I'll testify about this," but then he could kind of like indirectly get Cassie back, because that sounds like a man who's scorned, right? And Cassie's off married with kids now, and it seems like he's still a little scorned and a little bit bitter, feeling like, yo, you played me. I came in here, tried to help you. I tried to be this nice guy, and you played me. It looks like kind of like Kid Cudi played the prosecution. I really don't think the prosecution was smelling that around the corner. So that is the bombshell Kid Cudi testimony that scored points on both sides. The car situation, really goes to the RICO. You know, we all know it wasn't Diddy doing this. So was it Clark? Was it somebody else? Was it D-Rock? Is it somebody that was on the bad boy payroll who's supposed to be there for Sean Combs Enterprises doing corporate things? No, they're not doing corporate things. They're doing things to help Diddy facilitate his girlfriends and keep them in line. That's RICO. But like I said, the flip side of that is that makes Cassie look bad. The prosecution is trying to make Cassie out to seem like this girl who was in love with Diddy, was, going through trauma bonding. She couldn't get out, and it was just love. But according to Kid Cudi, it looks like she's a girl who's out here playing men. He didn't say anything about money, but it looks like she's living a double life, etc. He's painting the picture, and I'm just got to remind you guys, it just needs to be in the head of one juror. Now, to me and you, what I think most of you feel the same way, you could tell really what happened was, yes, Kid Cudi might be mad, but Cassie wanted to try to leave Diddy. She thought Kid Cudi would be a safe option. It turns out that Kid Cudi wasn't a safe option, and she just went back to Diddy out of fear, right? That's the trauma bonding. That's the women that are in those situations. They don't feel safe. And Diddy doing these things like the car and his house is going to make her run back, because it's like, who else now are you going to go to? And to me, that's even more reason to make Diddy look bad. But again, those 12 jurors, you don't know what's going on in their head. Some of them, and 8 of them are men. It could look like, hey, Cassie is this woman out here playing these celebrity rappers. And don't forget, also in her testimony came out that she cheated on Diddy one time with an NFL player. You don't know what's in the mind of these jurors. So that's it. We're going to go over to quick Diddy news with the Punisher. And it's another score for the defense team, where the Punisher is saying that he doesn't even know why the prosecution brought him up there to testify. He talked with TMZ after his testimony, which is super damaging. And end of the week, court is not going on Friday and on Monday. The jurors go home and rest and have to think about all this. I know a lot of you think that you've made up your mind. I'll say it's in the middle, man. I think it's in the middle. I think both sides are doing well. Diddy's high-priced lawyers are doing a good job poking holes, but the prosecution is doing a great job, I feel. And as the days go on, like I said, you start to see that wall, or you start to see, oh, this is the puzzle. I see that this is a car, or I see this is whatever the puzzle is, So let me know what you think about the testimonies and everything that's going on with the trial. And we still got more Diddy news to talk about. Let me know what you guys think about Kid Cudi's testimony in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick Diddy news. Ring my bell. Our first quick Diddy news: male dancer The Punisher didn't see any crimes with Diddy. Male dancer The Punisher tells us he's unsure why the federal prosecutors called him as a witness in the Diddy trial, because he says he never saw Diddy do anything that seemed illegal and thinks his testimony may have actually helped the defense. All right, before I play the video for you guys, just want to give you some context and go over the charges, because I feel like everybody has an opinion. There's people who think, this is just Diddy putting hands, like he should get off. And the other people are like, he is crazy, he should go to jail. That's why I say he should go into like a mental place. It will solve everyone's problems. But let's just recap, not the RICO for a second, because this would apply to the SEX trafficking. There's 2 charges for SEX trafficking. There's one, SEX trafficking under force, fraud, or coercion. And then there's SEX trafficking for people selling themselves, okay? That's just, the words. Now, yes, this guy is a dancer and he ended up doing things with them for money. However, Diddy is a resident of New York, so is Cassie, and so is the Punisher. He was from Harlem. So they're all in the same state. For it to be a federal crime, for it to go against the Mann Act, which we've talked about a bunch already here, they're saying Diddy sex trafficked across state lines. That is the charge. And I've told you guys already, they've already proven that. And that's such a small charge, not saying that it's not a right thing to do, but it holds a maximum of like a year and a half. Diddy would get, if that was his only charge, Diddy would just plead guilty and he would get off time served. But my point is that, and which I'm going to play for you here, the Punisher is saying, I'm from New York, Diddy's from New York, Cassie's from New York. Okay, we did that, but we didn't cross state lines. If anything, the selling themselves in New York, yes, that's not legal, but that's a state crime. Why is he showing up for a Fed case? Now, like I said earlier, they're painting a picture and they're making brick by brick and they're just showing the things that he was into. However, there's jurors on there that want to go home. And there's jurors out there that are like, it's summertime. Like, hey, I want to do my civic duty, but don't waste my time. And I've been involved in a bunch of court cases and I've talked with a bunch of my lawyers that they say the worst thing to do is have the jury get exhausted and feel like you're being redundant. And if you listen to a lot of experts, they're saying that's what the prosecution is doing. Just keep in mind, we're only on 2 weeks. And they say they have 6 weeks, so I have a whole month to go. If they're already being repetitive, so much so that the person testifying is like, I don't even know why I was there. What was the point of that? What are the next 4 weeks going to be? Anyways, listen to his testimony and you'll hear it from his mouth.
I listened to your testimony and I'm trying to figure out, where is the crime that they're prosecuting Diddy for?
Honestly, that was my personal experience too, being confused. I remember when investigators first approached me in March of 2024. This was before any charges, allegations. I basically told them, "Hey guys, I have nothing for you. I didn't see any violence. I didn't get any cues to her being in distress. So I'm just as confused as you. I still to this day, I'm like, I don't know why I testified. I always believed my testimony, if it was any benefit, might have benefited the defense."
As you all know, I'm very open. If you see it another way, if you are a lawyer, if you're experienced in legal proceedings, if there's something that I'm missing, that Harvey from TMZ is missing, or the Punisher is missing, please let me know. I would love to be proven wrong. Y'all know I'm fully on the prosecution side and we want Diddy locked up for life. This is not a smart move from the prosecution. Let me know what you guys think about this, and please weigh in if you think I'm looking at this, if we're missing something. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, that brings us to regular quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Was it worth it? 2 women arrested after helping multiple New Orleans jail escapees get food and transportation. Multiple! What is wrong with y'all, man? 2 women have been arrested after New Orleans police accusing them of aiding some of the New Orleans jail escapees. Both are being charged with accessory after the fact. 32-year-old Harris is accused of being in contact with Leo Tate, one of the 5 fugitives still at large. Authorities claim she communicated with the inmates prior to the escape and drove 2 of them to multiple locations around New Orleans while they were on the run. 38-year-old Baptiste is accused of assisting Boyd, a fugitive who was captured yesterday. Authorities say Baptiste brought food to Boyd while he was hiding in a residence after escaping jail. Both women are booked and sent to a detention center following their arrest. If convicted, they both face up to 5 years in prison. Come on now. Yesterday in comments of the day, I read a comment from somebody saying, yo, sure, I understand you escaped, but you ain't staying nowhere near me. In jail, they gave you 3 meals and a cot. And I thought that was hilarious. Listen, if they were talking before they escaped, this is not some women who they just like met on the street. This is probably like their girlfriends or friends or something like that. So I get it, but really, like you got to have a bigger and better plan than that. You know what I'm saying? If that is ever me, trust me, you ain't never seen me again. I'm planning that from like years ahead of time. Okay, maybe not years, but it can't just be like, yo, you're going to capture me getting some food. Like, we got to have this planned out, you know? Anyways, I bet you within 3 or 4 days, everybody's back inside. And now you have extra people that are trying to help them. Anyways, anybody hearing this, it's not worth it. There's a tip line. You can get $20,000. Do the right thing, y'all. Our second quick story. Glorilla seemingly confirms she got a nose job after fans noticed a change in her appearance. She said, and did. I am so saddened by this. You have zero idea. I'm going to put the picture up a little closer here, this side by side. You'll see the before and you'll see the after, and you'll see where Glorilla said and did. I went to Glow's Instagram and I didn't see any new pictures, but I did see this in her stories, and it kind of doesn't look like the other picture. So I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't actually look like her original nose. I love Glorilla. I think she is absolutely gorgeous. I think she is stunning. She is beautiful inside and out. She has such an amazing personality. Yes, I love her music. I love her flow. I love her accent or whatever. I just think that she's a good person. And I know that she has had some work done on the upper area, the upper chest area, which, okay, that's fine. But I had always kept in the back of my head, like, I hope that she's not going to Little Kim herself, because I love Little Kim. It's just sad that, Little Kim was the originator. Like, she was the OG of this female movement in this lane, right? Yes, there was the MC Light, there was Queen Latifah, even let's say TLC, because Left Eye technically rapped. You have Salt and Pepper. Like, I know all the women that came before, but Little Kim was the Madonna of rap, right? Where she used SEX to really, separate herself from the girls that were trying to, look like the guys, right? Baggy or whatever, blah, blah. Well, I mean, anyways, let's not get into the female history. Anyways, Little Kim should be regarded as like the OG and hailed. Unfortunately, I feel like Nicki Minaj is going to take Little Kim's place to the majority of people, especially like in this newer generation, because of the surgeries and the things that Little Kim has done to herself. You know what I mean? Like, she can't be looked at the same. She doesn't even look like human anymore, And I say all that to say, I had a feeling, because Glow has talked about her nose before. And I was like, I hope that she doesn't do something like this, because once you start touching your face, it's a downhill slope. Look at Little Kim, look at Michael Jackson, look at, it could be slippery. Now, I understand this is 2025 and that was back in the day and there's better things, but it's not necessarily the surgery. It's more just the compulsion of like, okay, I'll just do this. Okay, actually, you know what? Just a little there, just a little bit, and I'll put back up the picture. Just look at it side by side. Like, she looked way better with her original nose. Like, this doesn't even look like Glow anymore. Like, I know it's because of, it's how we met her, but I don't know. I don't like the new nose, and I'm just worried that, she's just going to keep on doing little things, and then all of a sudden she has no bridge left, and it just all goes down from hill. Then the lips go, then the cheek fillers, and then it just gets crazy. Anyways, I went a little bit of a rant, but whatever. It's Friday. Leave me alone. Shout out to Glow. Glow, if you see this, if somebody in the industry get this to Glow, tell her Trent Out Loud said that she is beautiful inside and out, and she doesn't need any of this. Glow, trust me, listen to me. You don't need none of this. You're beautiful as is. Don't do anything more. All right? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, y'all. It's that time for my favorite segment, Comments of the Day. All right, y'all. Last comment of the day before the weekend kicks off. And before we get to the comments, y'all know I have a very, very important question for you. Something I take very seriously. I would like to know, are your computers, laptop, and cell phones vulnerable to data breaches? Seriously, are they? Let me answer that question for you. Yes, they are if you're not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. Go to my sponsor down below, aura.com/Trent Out Loud to get a 14-day free trial to see if any of your data has been exposed. Trust me, it's really amazing. I just like having fun with this. Any of my new viewers out here, okay? Aura is actually really the best. And with that link below, you find out if any of your data is exposed. Security, banking, and credit card information. It's really amazing. Let me explain it to you, okay? If you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone numbers or why your inbox is flooded with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers that sell your data, and they do it without your consent, and they make billions selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. Yes, stalkers, people. Be careful out there. This is why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura, to my family, friends, and out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part, automatically removing your info off of sites and even keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one security digital platform. Some of you out there may have digital security tools already. However, not having Aura is like having your front door locked, but keeping your back door open. That is the best line. Whoever came up with that at Aura, seriously, they should get a raise because that's amazing. Yeah, I got tools. Yeah, I got digital security tools. Yeah, but you have Aura? Boom, your windows are open in your house and your back door is open, bro. Now what? Because nothing could protect you like Aura. Brilliant! You may have already experienced digital security. So, I read that already. With Aura, you get alerts if your personal info is found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for your credit cards and banking information, a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they have US-based support available around the clock, 24/7. And I'm telling you, they're one of the nicest people, not just people, but they have the nicest operators and customer service. That's what I'm looking for. Some of the best customer service ever. And if anything does go wrong, Aura includes a $5 million identity theft insurance protection. They're the best. And if anything should happen, you're protected up to $5 million. I mean, yeah, send me an email and thank me, okay? With the link below, when you sign up, first of all, most importantly, it's free, completely free for 14 days. And once you sign up, Aura is literally just asking you to give them a chance to show you what they could do. They will go out, put their spiders out there, search the dark web, find out if your security, bank card, credit card, phone number, any of that is leaked out. They'll remove it and take it off for you and clean up everything. Okay. Everybody has gotten a spam phone call. Everybody has gotten stuff in their inbox that they don't want. It happens to all of us. Okay. My credit cards were frauded and it was bad. That's why I even found out about Aura. So within that 14 days, they'll show you what they can do. And then after that, it's totally up to you guys. You want to continue? I would continue if I were you, because once it's cleaned up, you want it to stay off, right? And to do that, you got to stay on with the program, but it's totally up to you. I would just recommend you try it for 14 days. And trust me, you're going to thank me. I literally get emails every day, tens of emails every day saying, thank you for showing me this. So if you guys ever have any of these issues, which you do, if you have a social security number, if you're a person, you have these issues, you probably just don't know about it. All right. So thank you, Aura. Thank you. It's my weekly thank you to Aura. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Here is the QR code. Sorry for QR code. Take out your phone, put out your camera, and just aim it at the screen. The link will pop up. Also, I also forgot. For those of you who don't know Aura and never heard of them, just to let you know how big they are, they used to be the jersey logo for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yes, who are in the Western Conference Final. Go Wolves. Here is a picture of Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. All right. Last thing, I like to do this weekly. Sorry, that's a little bit long, but when you're signing up, you're going to see that they're going to ask you, where did you hear this from? You could say podcast. Then it's like, which specific podcast? A lot of people try to put in Trent Out Loud in that box and it just refreshes. It's a little bit of a glitch. Don't worry about that. Just use the link. That's all you care about. That's all I care about. We'll get the credit for it. Don't worry about putting Trent Out Loud or podcast or whatever. Just use that link and get your 14-day trial. Don't worry about that little box. Okay. Or you got to fix that box though, but still, until it's fixed, You know what I'm saying? All right, let's move on to the comments. I got great comments today. I'm going to start off one of them with trauma bonding, and then I'm going to play a clip from you because yesterday what we talked about, Dawn, who was the expert for the prosecution, talking about psychology and trauma bonding. And I told you guys that I interviewed one of the America's leading doctors, and she also is the chief mental wealth officer for Charlemagne the God's Mental Wealth Alliance. Great friend of mine, love her. And I told you guys about her, and some people in the comment section asked about it. So I found a little clip from this was like my fourth or fifth podcast. I was like, Dr. Alfie, I'm starting a podcast. I want you to be one of my first guests. This was back when I was interviewing people with my podcast before I went over to entertainment and viral news. That's another story for another day why I switched. But I'm going to read Sherry's comment, and then I'm going to play a little clip about trauma bonding. All right. So, Sherry, first of all, this is a very deep and personal message. Thank you so much for feeling safe enough to talk about this with our Out Loud community. All right. So let's start off with that. And I'm very sorry that you had to go through anything like this at all, but happy to hear that there's good news at the end. All right. So Sherry writes, I can attest to trauma bonding, although I didn't know it until now. That is what it is called. I was married for 30 years, unhappy for the last 15 years. He became, all right, there's some things I can't say, and emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and financially not good, but never physically. I thought he was a wonderful man and a father who often became mean towards me, insulting me, controlling my choices, etc., mostly behind closed doors and then in front of friends. Once I finally left, and he immediately sued me for half of my paycheck in alimony, and he won, I began to have anxiety and panic attacks and learned that he was actually indirectly doing something to me mentally. I learned that kind of behavior is not always physical as I had thought. I have been happily single since 2012, and I have probably 90 to 95% full recovery now from my anxiety and from the rest of my past. I can very much relate to everything that the mental health professional witness said. Sorry, I forgot her name. Her name was Dawn Hughes, I think. All right. Thank you once again for that, Sherry. Again, sorry that you have to go through that. I'm going to play a little clip from my interview with Dr. Alfie. Welcome to the Trent Out Loud podcast. I am your host, Trent Out Loud, and I have a very, very, very special guest with me today. Somebody who I admire with like the utmost amount of respect. When I grow up, I want to be just like her, and happy to call her a friend of mine. Let me introduce her properly. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Alfie Breland Noble, professionally known as Dr. Alfie, is a pioneering psychologist, scientist, author, mental health correspondent, and the founder of the Acoma Project. Dr. Alfie is a regular media correspondent on CNN, Insider, the New York Times, Washington Post, and she is also the chief mental wealth officer at Charlemagne the God's Mental Wealth Alliance. She has co-hosted short films with Lady Gaga called The Power of Kindness. Dr. Alfie has also been a guest on The Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith, Today's Show, and of course, The Breakfast Club, my favorite show. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for my guest, Dr. Alfie. Yay! How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking,
Really?
Trent. It's been so great to be connected to you, all this time, and to learn from you and to watch you and to just enjoy your journey as an entrepreneur, and as a Black man who's willing to openly and honestly speak about mental health. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. But you have done a bunch of work on, you're a trauma specialist, but trauma bonding.
Yes.
And it's such a deep rooted issue that we could do a whole show on trauma bonding. So I just want to tell people out there to Google Dr. Alfie trauma bonding. It is literally mind-blowing. Like, I went down a rabbit hole like for an hour and a half. But in one of the interviews, we were talking about trauma bonding. You said this, and I would like for you to explain it to me more. You said there's something about the absence of chaos that makes us have to deal with ourselves.
Ooh.
Oh, I was just like, yo,
Yes.
can you please break that down for us.
Yes, absolutely. So first, let me just commend you for all the homework you've done, right? So whoever you and your team are, y'all nailed it. You got all the homework. So I'm respecting it, and
Thank you.
I'm learning from it. I'm like, oh, I think I need to do that, more of that. So I appreciate that. The chaos. What I mean by that is the chaos gives us, I won't say an excuse because that's loaded. It gives us something to pay attention to so that we're not paying attention to exactly what is hurting us. It helps us avoid dealing with the pain. It helps us deflect from the pain. So the chaos is there to give us something to focus on. And it also allows us to avoid what comes behind the chaos, which is dealing with the reality of the experience. And so I think as long as we allow ourselves to stay stuck in, well, he or she did this, or they did this to me, or do you know what I mean? Like, we keep letting ourselves go back into those difficult relationships. Because remember, the whole idea of trauma bonding is you have a person who can't pull themselves away from that person who's hurting them. That's effectively what trauma bonding is. It's just a label for not being able to pull yourself out of it. But most of us never end up in that place where we can't pull ourselves away just like that. That's over time. You've been worn down into that space. And so the chaos is what you get used to in a trauma bonded relationship, because the chaos is what gives the perpetrator control over the relationship. It's keeping you off guard. It's never allowing you to get your footing. Because remember, when you get your footing, I remember this a long time ago, this beautiful psychologist, her name is Dr. Maya McNeely. She taught me this. If anybody practices martial arts, there's this art called Aikido. Okay. And part of what you learn in Aikido is like a low center of gravity and keeping like enough distance between your feet that you steady yourself. If you get off kilter, people can move you whichever way they want to move you. But if you're steady, they can't. That's how I like to ask people to think about the absence or presence of chaos in the context of trauma bonding and experiencing trauma. The chaos keeps you off center. And if you're off center, I can do with you whatever I want to.
Wow. I love Dr. Alfie, man. She is amazing. She almost was really like America's therapist. She was actually supposed to do some stuff in the White House with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But obviously, as you guys know, they did not win. So if they would have won, they would have hired her and she would have been doing stuff in the White House as America's doctor. So shout out to Dr. Alfie, my friend, my homie, Dr. Alfie. All right. So Jacqueline, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Or is it Jacqueline? Because like that's the Montreal in me. Jacqueline, or is it Jacqueline? I guess you're from the UK, so I'm just going to say Jacqueline. Hi, Trent. Jacqueline from Stewartport in 7th near Birmingham in UK here. Love your show, man. Never miss it. Keep up the good work on the Diddy case. Mate, Chris Brown allegedly put hands on somebody. If he did it, he's a thug and he had Diddy syndrome, though he could get away with it. Why should he put his behind in jail? Okay, Jacqueline, I totally agree with you, but innocent till proven guilty, right? I just said I think it was on yesterday's podcast, we talked about Chris, where I think that he deserves bail, but I also said that Chris needs to sit himself down. He needs to relax and stop doing these things. And yes, if he goes to trial and they prove that he did it, he should go to jail if he did that to somebody. I totally agree. I just think that, well, it is the fact that you're innocent until proven guilty, 1000%, right? So, just wanted to make sure we cleared that up. Just thought that he deserved bail. Next thing is Messi Lala. I think it's Messi Lala. The GUN serial number scratched off is illegal, but they found another GUN in the back house with a serial number, things that were supposed to go in the GUN missing. Okay, so wanted to talk about this. There's a couple of like conflicting things going on here. A, the serial numbers were not scratched off on the GUN. They were scratched off on the magazine. A. B, we learned yesterday or the day before that the GUN or even the magazine or the things that go in the magazine were never tested for Diddy's DNA. So there's none of his DNA on it. And from what I remember, if I remember correctly, not fingerprints either. So yes, they were in his home, but whose were they? Who did they belong to? And even if they were his and who they belonged to, we read out a part of the testimony where Diddy's defense team asked the agent that was giving the testimony, this is Florida. How many people in Florida that have GUNs in their home? The prosecution said, objection. They re-asked the question. They said, special agent, do you have a GUN in your home? You live in Florida. And he said, yes, I do. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's a Second Amendment right here. I understand that he might not have it the right way or legally or whatever, but having a GUN in your home in Florida, it's not SEX trafficking under force, fraud, or coercion. It's not SEX trafficking over state lines, and it's not RICO, especially if it's in his home. Now, if it's in his office, that's a little bit different story, but it's in his home. A lot of people I see in the comment section are like, yeah, he'll go down for this, and he should go down for that, and he should go down for this. Sorry, I shouldn't have closed this. The government made a decision to go after these 5 charges. It's 3, it's 5, but it's really 3. There's the 2 extra ones are just repetitive. They didn't charge him with GUN. They didn't charge him with DRUG. They didn't charge him with putting hands. Those things are all state crimes. This is a Fed case, and this is what they're trying him with. So during this trial, even if you hear illegal things, it doesn't mean that he'll go down for these things because he's not charged for that. That's how the court system works. You can only be found guilty on the charges that you are on trial for. That's it. And there's nothing in those counts that says anything about a GUN. So he could be caught with 200 GUNs. That's not what he's on trial for. You guys have to realize that. Google, what is Sean Combs in court for? And you'll see it's not any of those charges of the GUNs. Thank you for your comment. Did I say that for the other people? Jacqueline, thank you for your comment. Sorry. It's Friday. Next one is from Tiffany. I have a type, but it's not so much physical. I'm attracted to ambitious men. Hey, Tiffany, what's up? I'm ambitious. I'm like overly ambitious. Those men tend to look and handle themselves and me a certain way that I love so much. Now, I wanted to put this in here because I 100,000% agree with you. I don't know if this was yesterday or the day before's. Was it social discussion of the day? It was a social discussion of the day. And the social discussion was, is you having a type keeping you away from real love? Now, that type meant, or this is what I think it meant. It meant type is in physical type. Like, I like a man that is over 6 feet, that's black, that has long hair, that whatever. Hands, tone, melanin level. Those kind of physical attributes. What you're talking about, ambition, to me, in my opinion, that's a value. That's a trait. That's a trait that I don't think you should give up, because that is something that will never change. The type of person, not that somebody's height will ever change, but that is not going to have an effect when you're married and you have kids and you guys get older and you live the rest of your life together. I think that's what the question or the discussion more was about, where, for example, you might see or you might encounter a very, very ambitious alpha male that you are super attracted to that trait, but he might be 5'2". You going to go out with him? What are you going to choose? The ambition, who is the character, who you know that if that's something that you like, that you're attracted to, and that you think is a good value, your children are probably going to be ambitious because their father is. But your kids might be a little short. What are you going to do? That's the discussion. So I totally agree with you that the type that you have for your value system, you should never change because that's what you're happy. That's what makes you happy. Thank you very much for your comment. Monique says, is Chris free? Thank you, Monique, for your comment. No, he's free. Yes, he is technically free because he could go out, but he's on bail, meaning that he has to sign a promise to appear. He paid $6.7 million US, 5 million euro, and he's free. He could travel. From what we know, there's no restrictions or anything like that, but it's just a promise to appear, and he'll have to face trial. I think these, to be honest with you, I've heard, and I think this will get dropped as it goes. That's why Chris felt like he could go back. Remember when I first told you guys, I was like, yo, why would Chris go back? I called some people and I figured out why would he go back. He went back because he thought it was handled. He thought this was all done with. And, celebrities have ways of making these things kind of like disappear, or he feels like he wasn't in the wrong and, somebody's trying to, muddy his name. I'm not going to say which it is, but Chris and his team thought it was handled, and they're confident that this is going to just be done with. It's not really even going to go to trial. That's what I heard, okay? But technically, yes, Chris is free. Lynette says, love the show. I try to catch it every episode. Quick question on the Diddy mess. In the courtroom, supposedly a couple of jurors are sleeping. Do they get in trouble or get dismissed or questioned? Just curious. Okay. Again, love the show. Toledo, Ohio in the building. What up, Ohio? Thank you so much for your comment. And I'm so happy, and it gives me so much joy to know that you love the show so much and you catch every episode. Thank you so much. So yes, I have heard too that a lot of jurors are nodding off, and no, they do not get in trouble. You guys have to remember, this is their civic duty. They're not making millions of dollars off of this, although when they're done, some of them could put out books and turn this into something. But no, it's not like a classroom, right? The judge and court look at the jury as almost like guests, right? Like, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for doing this for us. And when they see them sleeping or nodding off, the judge will say, the jury is, he's just said that yesterday. He said, the jury looks like they're getting tired. We need to take a break, guys. This is a lot for them. So think as jurors as a guest in your home, and you want them to be fed. You want them to be happy. You want them to feel good. You want them to be positive. And them nodding off is a sign that the lawyers and or the judge are not doing their job correctly. Hence the reason why this judge said that the jury shouldn't be sequestered for 2 months because it would be too hard on them, which I think was a huge mistake, and I think could be grounds for a mistrial. One little mistake, this juror was here on his phone, the internet, whatever, anything can happen. I know there's six alternates, but I just don't like it. I feel like Diddy's team is going to use it. That is it for today's comments. Thank you so much, everybody, for commenting. It's my favorite segment. Thank you so much again, Aura, for sponsoring the Out Louders. Just a tidbit, I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it every day. Unfortunately, Aura does not work outside of the US for right now. So unfortunately, the only people that can click and use the link are the American Out Louders. But I have spoken to Aura. I only found this out like last week, and I said, we're a global podcast. Y'all need to do something for the global outsiders. They are diligently working on plans that will be spread out over other countries. And as soon as they do, I will get special access to it, and you guys will get a special plan for the Out Louders outside the US, okay? So we are working on it. Once again, here is the QR code. If you would like to sign up, which I think you should, take out your phone, turn on your camera, put it at the screen, boom, follow the link, or just click on the link below. 14 days for free. Thank you, Aura. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. All right, normally I see something online that I want to discuss with you guys that I'm sitting on the fence. This one I just made up all on my own, okay? It's been weighing on me all week, so y'all know I bring it to you guys. The Out Loud, I don't want to say jury, but my Out Loud, this is Out Loud therapy, What should I do, guys? Or what should we do? What should society do? Should you let your opinion and or views of Diddy and Trump, I would say that that's very volatile, those two people, get in the way of your friendships, relationships, and or family? So why I'm asking that is, over the weekend, I was having a conversation about Trump, and I feel like it happens to me, especially when I'm with my family and some friends, where, as you guys know, I'm independent, and I always like to try to see the good in people, and I always like to see things from both sides, and I am a very positive person, and I like to see the positivity. And I think that Trump did his due diligence of running a campaign. I know some people are going to say it wasn't a fair election, etc. Until we see evidence that it was a free and fair election. Same thing in 2020 when Trump said it wasn't fair, went to courts, nothing was proven. So until something is proven, it was a free and fair election. He won the popular vote, which is the first Republican president in like 20 years to do that. And he won all 7 swing states. He won. And I think that he has done some good things while he's been in presidency. And I think the best thing that he has done, and I think he's done it better than, I don't know, the past 10 presidents maybe, is that he has done every single thing that he promised that he would do on a campaign trail. And I feel like you got to respect that. Every single thing, the harsh, crazy things that he said on the campaign trail, he's doing it. And I'm in favor of DEI, and he is taking that away and dismantling that. And I have been a strong proponent of DEI. We don't have to get into why and et cetera, et cetera. I have said it's not just for Black people, it's for women, Black people, minorities, people with disabilities. It's a large scope. And I cannot fathom why somebody would want to dismantle that in 2025. I understand there's some things that people feel that's not operated and ran correctly, etc. But I feel like it could just be reimagined or reworked. Sorry, I know I'm talking a lot. My point is that for Republicans, and especially for MAGA, I can see why they like Trump, and I can see what he is doing for them. And even with that said, immigration is down to like the lowest point that it's ever at. There's like no border crossings, and that's Trump. There's a trade negotiation that's going on. The way he started it was horrible, but there's trade negotiations. Tariffs went up to 145%. It was only like that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. There was a pause. The U.S. and China are back at the negotiating table. The stock market crashed. It's back up, not to exactly where it was, but it's pretty much back up. So I say all of this to say, I say these things, and then there's probably going to be some people in the comment section that are like, "Well, I hate Trump." Da 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 da. Regardless of my views or your views or family views, I feel like some people let my opinion and their opinion or others' opinion affect the relationship. And I think that I don't agree with that. And I wanted to know what you guys think. Same thing like Diddy. Some people will say, listen, he put hands on Cassie. He's not a good person, but he didn't do those things and he shouldn't be found guilty. Some people are like, that is so insensitive. Look what he did. Da 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 da. He did these things. Did you see the CNN tape? He should be in jail. The truth of the matter is that the statute of limitation from that CNN tape has passed. It's a state crime. That's not what he's on trial for. So I'm not trying to get into a Trump conversation or a Diddy conversation. I'm just giving you facts. Like I just gave you facts about Donald Trump. I might not like those facts. And I might not like the facts about Diddy. I think the guy is crazy. But I've just given you the facts. But some people will be like, I don't want to talk to this person. Or they look at them sideways for A, saying things that are facts, or even B, saying, hey, the facts that I know and even the case that I've been watching, I feel this. And I just feel like us as a society, hence why I'm bringing it to social discussion, no pun intended, but I feel like we should give more room for people to just be open and, give their opinions and be free and have healthy discussions with things instead of like trying to cancel everybody. Now, I will say on the flip side to the people that, do maybe cut people off or, not gravitate to the people who they disagree with. I understand in the sense that it can give you insight into a person if somebody, for example, is a Trump supporter or if they don't believe that Diddy is guilty of anything, let's just say, and it could give you a little bit of like a, hey, how could you see this and know about this of Diddy and think that he shouldn't be in jail at all, et cetera, et cetera. I get that it gives you a little bit of an insight, but my question here was relationships, friendships, or family members. And I don't see how family members or relationships, you can let an opinion about another person be the reason why that you don't talk to this person or you don't like them or you guys fight over it. Like you hear all the time about families fighting over political views. Like, I just don't understand. If I was a stranger, I would say, okay, fine. I don't know you. So of course I'm just going to judge you of what you say. I get that. But anyways, my question is, should we judge our friends, family, or the people that we're in a relationship based off of their political views or their social views on social topics? And I don't think so. I think it's good to have healthy discussion, and I think it's good to try to see things from other people's perspective, and that's how we grow, and that's how you develop healthy relationships that are prosperous for both sides. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, let's have some fun. Question of the day. What's one place you traveled to that you would never return to and why? Okay, there's some good ones in here. Okay, first person said jail. Hilarious. Totally agree. Hey, Montego Bay? But then they put a heart. Maybe they could not have said my country of Jamaica. Name one place you've traveled to that you would never return to and why. They put Montego Bay with a heart. I'm going to say that they didn't understand the question. Jamaica is the most beautiful country on the planet, okay? Somebody said the maternity ward. Oh, okay. I guess that was not an experience. And that's a place that I would love to go, and I would love to repeatedly go there. Don't come for me, but New Orleans, it's beautiful. I love the people, but child, the spirit. I mean the drinking as well. Okay, now you guys know, well, my daily listeners, you know how well-traveled I am. China, almost every state in the US, and Canada, Europe, like everywhere, Paris, France, etc., etc. Only place I haven't been to is Australia and India. Anyways, I digress. I've never been to New Orleans. How bad is that? That is horrible. And I call myself a Floridian, and I was conceived in Florida, and I'm like part American. And I've never been to New Orleans. So bad, man. Anyways, I really want to go out there, and I do not accept that place is not a good place. Somebody said Alabama and Mississippi. Okay, they're not giving why. Somebody said Cleveland. The poverty was unexpected. Okay. I mean, listen, I've been places in China that are super poor too, but still got to find the beauty in everywhere you go. Somebody said my job. Hilarious. Paris. Food was, okay, I'm not going to say what they said. And people were extra rude. Now, I will say, I love my people from France. Love y'all. I used to go to Paris twice a year for Men's Fashion Week when I was in retail. I'm not going to say I would never go back. Let's see. What's the place you travel to that you'd never return to? I'm not going to say I would never return. I do think you have to go to Paris with your significant other. I was in Paris for work, and it just wasn't. It just didn't do it for me. But I feel like if I went to Paris with my girl and under different circumstances, maybe it would have been different. But I kind of understand what they're saying. And the food wasn't all that great. Very bland. I ordered like a meat thing, and I'm Jamaican, yo. I lived in South Africa where like they have the meat is like meaty. I ordered this sausage and meat thing, and it was like seriously, like the sausage was like as white as this paper. It's very bad. Anyways, somebody said my baby daddy's house, hilarious. NYC, the food was horrible. Everywhere I went, there was too many people. What? My second favorite place on earth? Well, my third favorite place? New York? Yo, New York is the best ever. Somebody said Mexico. I won't tell you why. Hawaii, I'm here now. Just leave the beach and you'll see why. Look, I went to Hawaii. I don't think everything was cracked up to be, but also I didn't do much. I was there in between going to Japan. I just wanted to stop off and see it. I would go back, but I don't think it was anything crazy, but I would definitely go back. Somebody said Turkey. I would love to go there. Somebody said that in Turkey, the disrespect was crazy. Back and forth with nobody for no reason. I don't know what that means. Maternity ward. My ex-crib. That's funny. DR. I enjoy DR. Not for the typical reason men like DR. I actually really like the food. I like the people. I thought it was fun. I like DR. Somebody said Earth. Dominican Republic again. Labor and delivery. Here's DR again. Jeez, what's going on with DR, yo? Somebody said Detroit. Bahamas. Vegas. What? I used to go to Vegas twice a year for my Nike conventions. Somebody said DR not worth it. DR. Jeez. Italy. Oh, my friend went to Italy last year. I couldn't go with him. I haven't been to Italy either. India. Really want to go to India. Qatar. My cousin lives in Qatar. I want to go there. Miami Beach is so overhyped. Yo, I will admit, I lived, 3 minutes away from Miami Beach for a year. I guess maybe because I lived there, it maybe took a little bit of the off of it. I mean, I would wake up every morning and jog. It's beautiful, but I do think it is a little bit overhyped. I will admit that, but it's still Miami Beach. Carnival cruise. I think I've been on a Carnival cruise. Somebody said Walmart. It's funny. Boston. Been to Boston too. India, DR, Jamaica, Cape Town, Johannesburg, Puerto Rico, Texaco, Florida. All right, this person's just a hater. What? Shout out to Joburg. Cape Town. I lived in Cape Town for a year. Cape Town is beautiful, beautiful. What? The motherland? Puerto Rico? Yeah, this person's just hating. London, England. It rained every day. It is definitely very rainy in England, man. Shout out to all my everyday watchers in England, but y'all know it does rain out there a lot. Somebody said my last marriage. Earth, jail. All right, I'm going to leave some for you guys. This is really fun. South Carolina. What? Shout out to South Carolina. Peru. All right, I'm going to save some for you guys. Let me know a destination that you've been to that you'll never go again, but don't forget to tell me why. Yeah, I need the why, and I'll read them back next show. That was a good one, right? I know. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Well, not what you think. Let me know the place that you wouldn't go back in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to sports news. Pacers beat the Knicks 138-135. Wow. First off, what a great game, guys. Like, that is a conference finals. The West Coast was super boring, and I'm always saying how great the West is. Great game, guys. Now, yes, the Pacers beat the Knicks in the Garden. Yes, Knicks were up, I think, 14 points. Indiana didn't lead. The last time they led was in the second quarter, and then the second time was like, I think 2 minutes in. I don't think that New York loss has something to do with their team. I don't think it was a bad performance by the Knicks. I think they did what a lot of teams do, is get comfortable with the lead, feel like they could take the foot off of the gas, Cruz had it in the bag, and the Pacers came back. You can't do that with the Pacers. They're just way too talented. Thought it was a mistake. Game 2 in the Garden. Trust me, the Knicks will win. They're not going to make that mistake again. I still think Knicks will win the series, but I did say that it is going to be pretty difficult. But I still feel, and if game 1 was an indication, we're going to game 7. Like, we're going to game 7. I just don't want the Pacers in the finals. Like, I like them. Like, I do. They're a talented team. They're a good team. I just feel it's going to be imagine OKC and Pacers. Boo. Even Pacers and Timberwolves. Like, the Knicks need to go to the finals. They just need to go there. That's it. Like, New York needs to be in the finals. At the Garden? What? NBA Finals at the Garden. Crazy work. Anyways, great game. More importantly, great game. Let me know who you think is going to win the series, and let me know what you think is going to go on with OKC and the Wolves. People are saying that it's over for the Wolves. They might even get swept. I don't think so, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, y'all, that is a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. I thought we had a fun episode. I was really chatty today. Y'all know how I do for my Thursday night, Friday morning episodes. Couple of things that I want to let you guys in. Well, before I do that, thank you also to Aura for sponsoring the comment section. I'm going to put up the QR code one more time. If you have not signed up, make sure you sign up below with the link below and the QR code. Now, what I wanted to tell you guys, show update. There is not going to be a trial Friday morning for the Diddy trial. So you remember last week I did a Friday night because how we record our show, it's like Thursday night it comes out Friday, like early morning, midnight-ish. Then we were going to do a Friday night, Saturday morning. That extra show is not going to be here this week because there is no court on Friday. Also, there's going to be no court on Monday. Y'all know what that means? Trent Loud gets 2 days off. Hey. If anything comes up over the weekend, I will definitely put out an episode for you guys. But it is a holiday. I have been working very, very hard. So there will not be the extra show Friday night, and there will not be a show on Monday, which is really Sunday night, Monday morning. There will be a show Monday night, Tuesday morning. Okay. That's it. I'll definitely miss you guys, but I do need a little bit of a break. Okay. This show also too. Let me know what you thought about this show. The kind I told you guys for the past couple of days that I was going to be on the road. So this episode, I'm in studio and on the road. Let me know what you guys think about it. I think it kind of came together kind of nice. I thought it was fun. Anyways, that's it. Thank you very much. Before I let you guys go, whenever I get chatty like this, I never want to end the episode. That's what happens when I'm like, oh, what? I want to keep on talking, but I just need to just end the show and stop talking to you guys. I really love you guys. I'm telling you. Before I let you go, I just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Loud podcast. For those of you who are used to watching the show on YouTube, if you're ever going on a flight or ever going in a car somewhere you don't have access to internet and you're wondering how you can watch the show, do not worry. We're available on all podcast platforms. You could download the show and take us with you, okay? Just go to any podcast site, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button or the subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. Now, vice versa, for those of you who are used to watching or listening to us on podcast platforms, thank you so much. Thank you for all the downloads. However, I got to make sure I get in at least one double however each episode. However, we definitely want you to come and hang out with the Out Louders on YouTube. It's a vibe over here. The comment section is lit. It's just a fun time, all right? So come on over to YouTube when you can and hang out with us. Just go and head over to YouTube, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. A couple of housekeeping rules. You got to hit that subscribe button. That gives you entrance into the Out Loud family. Don't forget to hit the like button because you got to get the algorithming. Most important, please comment. I do this show with you guys. I'm here answering you questions, trying to have a conversation with you guys. If you guys don't answer me in the comment section, It's boring. I'm really just talking to myself. So I need you guys. For the people who don't want to comment, you don't feel comfortable, totally understand that too. But try to at least say, hey, listening to the show from here, I love to see how global this podcast is. So, hey, Trent, listening from blah, 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 wherever you are, whatever continent you're on, all right? For those of you who are really enjoying the show, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones because it definitely helps in growing the channel. We really appreciate when you do that. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the podcast, I'm available on all social platforms, and it's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram, and I post a lot of your comments on my stories over the weekends, sometimes even during the week, so check me out there. Lastly, we have recently started a blog page on Instagram called Formerly Out Loud, FORMALLY Out Loud, Formerly Out Loud. And there is where we'll be able to update and communicate with you during the day. We do one podcast a day, but we'll now be posting the stories that we're talking about throughout the day before the podcast comes out. So you can get a little preview of what's going to be on today's show. And also there, the videos are not edited. We don't have to worry about copyright. We don't have to worry about swearing. So you get the unedited version. Some stories will be before, some stories will be after, but you can get it there. So you can follow us on Formerly Out Loud. I'm going to miss you guys so much. Have a great weekend. People in the US, Monday is a long weekend, so enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Have fun. We'll see you guys back here Monday night, Tuesday morning, or if something happens, you definitely know we'll come back and talk during the weekend, all right? Have a great long weekend. For the rest of y'all, have a great normal weekend, and I'll see y'all Monday night. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!